Welcome to the Morning Cup. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lupe.
Good morning, honey. How are you?
I'm great. You're back in Colorado. We're going to talk about your trip.
Yes.
And the things that you and I were just mentioning when it comes to our parents and hoarding things, not necessarily like hoarding. We're going to talk about today. We're also going to be talking about the scoop that's coming up next Tuesday, where you're working with uncovering your biases with Jen and Brenda.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a fascinating conversation and scoop. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what does your hair say about you? So onward and upward for today's Morning Cup. Right as the beat gets going.
I was like, girl, I was just getting into it.
All right, so let's talk about, you just came to your second home back to Colorado from California.
Yes, I had the pleasure of visiting my mom. And thank you to all of you who kind of chimed in on the good news last Friday, wishing my mom a big 80th. Woohoo! She turned 80 on last Sunday, and it was just fabulous to have all of our family safely around her. But I hadn't seen her in over a year and a half, so it was good to get back into my hometown out in San Jose and hang out with my family. So I really enjoyed the time. So thank you so much to everyone for all the support, and for you for holding down the fort.
Oh my God. We were talking, no, it was my pleasure. You needed that vacation. And we were talking about, you're clearing out your childhood home with your brother and your sister and your newly 80 years young mother. And he had said, I don't know about you. And my mom is here visiting me now that she shot it up and I've got my first cut. And she, and you were saying, what were you asking me?
You know what? My mom is actually going to be moving in with my sister. So they're moving from San Jose to Rockland. And so we were in the process of just cleaning out the house. And boy, I was just thinking, I'm like, that's going to be a chore, because after she hasn't lived there all 80 years. She's been there, probably I would say a good 15 years there at this one home. And man, there's quite a bit to clean out. Let's just say my mom likes to keep stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about that. How many of you, and you go back to your childhood home, and now that we're the adults and we have our own homes, we have our own style and our own way of doing things, and you go back to your childhood home or your parents' home, whether it's your childhood home or not, and you look around and you're like, wow, I think they can cut out some of this. I've done that, and my mom is here. I've done that with you, huh, Mom?
Oh, girl. And then on top of that, we're getting ready to prep her house. I'm like, well, we can get rid of this wallpaper. We should get rid of this wood paneling. And I'm like, good heavens. I'm like, I walked out going, oh my goodness, this is going to be quite the project.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I hear you. I tell you, for a good while. So when my parents got remarried back to each other, so they were divorced they were married 18 years, divorced, married other people, got remarried back to each other when I was a sophomore in high school. And then they decided to make the house bigger. So the house went under construction. And I will tell you what, that house was under construction. It felt like for 20 years. Every time I went out, I was like, Mom, when are you going to be done with this home? By the way, my father, like yours, ended up passing away a couple of years later. So they got remarried back to each other just in time.
Okay, I love that we've got a comment already like, I cannot believe how much I've collected over the years. Y'all can relate, right? Like, even I've been here 20 years in my home now, and I continuously have to thin out because I'm like, otherwise it would take over, like literally. So anyway.
You know what's funny? I hear you. I live in 790 square feet. I moved from a house to here. And same, right, Mom? Every time I go home, I'm bringing her new clothes. I'm bringing her new baskets. And I'm in a small. Now, I've kept a lot of stuff in my garage and in my storage unit and stuff. But yes, it's like you get older and we become our parents.
In time for spring cleaning. I guess that's we're putting out a call. It's spring cleaning time, people.
Spring cleaning time. So let's talk about the scoop and what you're going to be talking to Jen and Brenda Aviles about next Tuesday. And it's about,
Yeah, I'm super excited. So as many of you might or might not know, April is Diversity Month. And so in stride with obviously the premise of even our organization, the fact that we're trying to raise awareness about ageism and hopefully break down those biases, we're actually going to tackle a bigger conversation. It's all about unconscious bias, of which ageism is a part of for sure. But I am so excited to be partnering up with Jen Wynn. She is a certified transformational leadership coach and facilitator. And of course, my girl from New York, Brenda Aviles, she is an anti-racist educator and life coach. And we are going to be diving into just what it is to have unconscious bias. Now, we all have them, but what ends up happening is that we sometimes will inherit these beliefs, whether it's through family or it's a society or it's culture, or whatever it might be, but sometimes they go unchecked. And so what's important to note is that this conversation is all about recognizing that there is nothing wrong with the fact that we have all unconscious bias, but it's what we choose to do with it. Yeah. And how we choose to change some of those perspectives, that really is what's going to be the premise of this conversation. So I'm really excited about what we're going to be bringing to the table. And there's a couple of agreements that we're going to be setting out there about what the intention is around this conversation. And so it's just an important conversation, especially considering the climate that we're in right now and the recent happenings that sadly has been plaguing our country and our world. And so it's an important time for us to just show up with an open heart, open mind, and hopefully walk away with something new.
Well, and it's more of like a Q&A too. So what kind of questions are you all anticipating taking from the audience? Or what kind of questions would you like for people, to maybe think about asking these two ladies? Because let's face it, you've got you're Mexican. Is Brenda Puerto Rican or is she Mexican?
Puerto Rican.
She's Puerto Rican. And then we've got Jen, who's white. So we're literally covering the diversity. I'm not taking part in it as the Black person because I just wanted to listen in. And George Floyd, it's just a lot for the Black community right now. So I'm going to listen. So anyway, what are some of the things that you're anticipating in uncovering your biases?
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about privilege. And sometimes those, it's not something that we ask. Sometimes based on the skin of our color, that we are given these almost kind of like underlying privileges that we don't necessarily know we have at times, and sometimes we do know. So what is the responsibility that comes with that? How do you, when you see certain situations, what is your humane directive on what you need to do when certain situations pop up? How can you contribute to changing the conversation or witnessing and not sitting down just like as a bystander, but becoming an active human in our everyday? So we'll be talking about privilege. We're going to be talking about unconscious bias, how they're created, kind of understanding what's the difference between, equity and diversity and inclusion, because they all mean different things. But sometimes we link them up, into one. So it's getting a little bit smarter on what those mean, what's the intention behind them, why are they important, and what you can do to move these conversations and hopefully change how you show up in the lens you use to see other people in your day-to-day.
Well, I think that's going to be really, again, a great Q&A and chat conversation, fireside, whatever you want, in the end it's going to be. The other day I had pinged you and said, hey, let's create an event invite for this, because when I posted on my personal page about George Floyd, so Monday was the first time I actually saw the entire video. And even then it was hard. I wanted to cry. I had to mute it because I couldn't, as a human, we couldn't. It's just hard. So, and that's not even erasing at this point. That's just hard to see, literally someone's life being snuffed out. Right. So I posted, and then all of a sudden I had one of my friends that I've known for over 25 years when we used to live in Dallas say, well, which video did you see? And immediately it sent me into a tailspin. And I not only deleted her post, I went in and had don't you even, if you're trying, because I took it differently. Now, see, this is what happens when because as a person who is Black, speaking of diversity, and she's white, I thought, and I know her heart, so it's not like I was being accusatory. But what I felt she was saying, because she didn't understand, because we ended up having a conversation after both going at each other, is that, because we could do that, we're real friends, is it doesn't matter the video, it doesn't matter what he did beforehand. It's the fact that he is Black, and this is how we as Black Americans feel. And so for you to say or insinuate, which video did you see, meaning maybe he deserved that. That's how I read it. So when we're having those conversations, and then we're going at each other and having deep like conversations in the back end. And so finally we ended it very abruptly. So I called her. And we had we opened it up like, that we love each other, right? I mean, literally, we said that to each other. And then we started talking. I found out after all these years, I am her only Black friend. And she said, and she's in Virginia, she said, Barbara, I seriously was asking, because she had said, well, can a white person just ask a question? I said, yes, you can. But let me tell you, you're going to be trolled by asking that question, So anyway, and so I told her about your session. And she says, I want in. She said, send me the link, because I am trying to learn about how you feel, how Asians feel, how, I have a hard time saying Mexicans, but I know, because I used to think that was derogatory to say it that way.
No.
Or J-E-W. Like, I'd rather say Jewish than J-E-W, because I feel like, but you taught me it's okay to say.
Absolutely.
Those kinds of things that I'm literally talking about.
And that's, and that is why conversations like these, and sadly, we just don't have them enough, and we need to.
We don't have them enough.
And what's interesting is that, I think what you should come to this conversation or to this, session with is an open heart, but also a willingness to learn. So ask the questions. I'm going to stay away from saying that this is a safe place. This is actually creating space. So, you should come in and be able to feel comfortable asking questions, because if they're genuinely with the intent to learn and to grow, because sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. So this is an opportunity to really tap into two women whose mission it is to help educate, understand, and advance an understanding about what it means to be a human, period.
Yeah.
And so, come with what some of those questions might be about, hey, how do I get smart on this? Or, how do I phrase this? Or I've always thought that this, and let's get some clarification and hopefully give you something new to noodle on, so that next time when you find yourself in situations where you feel like, is this an inappropriate question, or how should I ask this? You hopefully have some better understanding of how to approach that.
And you know what? And let's not get angry with one another, because I was angry, because I was feeling certain things, but then I was like, wait a minute, she may not understand, or maybe I'm reading this wrong. Yeah. And especially when you're texting or DMing each other, it's like, whoa, this is going off the rails.
Lost in translation.
And the minute we picked up the phone, it was like, we love each other, right? And had the conversation, and that's what people need to do.
Yeah. And I love that you did
that.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, right? Because we take things so personally. We see things through our own lens, our own experience. So if you had a bad experience with a Black person, a Mexican person, whatever, then you use that judgment as like, then all people of color are like this.
Yes.
The idea that no, we're not. And with every conversation, hopefully you strip away those biases or those experiences to understand that, at the end of the day, we all bleed the same color. We all breathe the same way. So at the end of the day, it's all about showing respect and common decency as humans to one another, because we're living in this world together, and it's only getting more diverse by the second. So it behooves you to step in and understand the beauty and complexity of what it is to be a multiracial and multi-ethnic world that we live in.
Yes. Yes, it's going to be a really great conversation, because what's interesting is when you were talking about privilege, it's just really deep. So I've been really engrossed in the whole, court with George Floyd. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to watch. And I want people to come with no judgment, because that's how we are within this community. That is rule number 1, is no judgment. Rule number 2 is no trolling. You're literally there to listen and learn and take part. and not be on the offensive. So if you're Black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever it may be, let's come with an open mind and a non-accusatory or judgmental spirit. Because Lupe and I are living in this skin all day, every day. The minute we walk out of our doors, we already know we're Black. We go to the store and we're treated rudely. We don't know if it's the person's having a bad day or if it's our skin color. Literally, that's the life that we live. But we want to be able in that conversation to come together and have this deeper understanding of each other and just be there to ask the questions and listen and learn and talk about how you feel in your white privilege, if that's how you're feeling, or, you know, what books can you read? And I know Brenda did a really great, we have a book club. Yeah. She really took the ladies through some coursework.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, right? So I think that's it. You know, show up. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. The simple act that you're going to be tuning in and listening and hopefully walking away with just something new. If that's all you walk away with, then we'll have done our job. Now, obviously, there's a multiple layers to this conversation. So we will be, I assume in an hour, you know, exactly, touching on some hot topics. So please come prepared for next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time here, Facebook Live, where we will be having this powerful conversation with Jen Nguyen and Brenda Aviles. And we're just excited to be bringing this to you. And hopefully y'all step in and lean in with us.
3 women and a Facebook stream.
There you go.
I love it. So let's talk about something that has been all over the pop news and entertainment blogs, and something that seems to be putting us Gen Xers and okay boomers in the forefront of things, and that of topics, and that is our hair. And we're not talking about going gray. We're not talking about that part of our hair, but another part that seems to say, according to TikTokers and the younger folks, that if you wear your hair a certain age, they consider you old. Now, we don't believe that.
Absolutely not. But not to entertain the idea, explore, and then get you ladies to jump on the bandwagon to disprove this hair myth.
Yes, because it started with, if you wear your hair on the side, you're considered old, whatever old is these days. If you wear your hair down the center, that's the way to wear it, to be sexy, cool, hip, and all of that. Yeah. So let's talk about this subject. We want to know, how do you wear your hair? Oh, because you guys know I wear mine all over the place. I don't care about what people say.
I know. Well, and I'm wearing my hair down the side because I like it. But I do occasionally wear it also down the middle, and then I've curled it and then put it up. Like we all know, I mean, hair is a fun thing to mess around with. But interestingly enough, there are apparently, considering that today is April 1st, crazy, there are obviously some new spring styles out there coming into play that are kind of cool that we should be checking out. So, but we'd love for you guys to hit us up on like how you do wear your hair, because inquiring minds want to know, right?
Inquiring minds.
So we ended up doing some searching on a couple of different hairstyles come spring that you all could start to consider wearing. The first one here that we're going to be going to is our center cut. And I've always had a hard time pronouncing this. Is it balayage, Barb?
I think it is balayage. I think, yeah. So
it's this idea that it's basically like an asymmetrical bob, it looks like to me, right? But what I love about it is that it also has this kind of like lighter tone. So it goes from dark to light. And I think that's called ombre too, which is the next hairstyle right next to it too. But what I love is that this girl here on the left is the center cut. So she's wearing the trend apparently down the middle. And then kind of got the lighter or the darker to like lighter tone for spring and time. And so same style with the ombre wavy bob though. And I have been dying to figure out how to get these like kind of subtle beachy waves into my hair. I love how this look always looks on and long hair. Right?
Yes, I love the one on the left. I feel like the one on the left the one on the right with the ombre look and the little bit of a curl. I love that style. The other one reminds me of the early 2000s. It doesn't matter the age. It just reminds me when people were wearing that center cut and like long and the girl tucked,
yeah. Apparently, just like our clothes, everything is coming back in style. So I guess this is a hot haircut right now in the hair parlors.
Yes.
Some other kind of cool.
You just say hair parlors.
I did. Did I? I caught myself saying that. I know. I was like, oh snap! I haven't been to a hair parlor in forever. I really love this hair on the left. It's the shaggy smooth pixie. Now,
oh yeah, the pixie is cute.
I have seen so many women wear this in so many different ways, whether it's straight pixie or it's like spiky pixie. Our girl Debbie always wears a fabulous pixie haircut, I feel.
Oh, she rocks it, and so did Jennifer Wild, but Jennifer's growing her hair back. But I love that. You have to have like the right face shape for that. Absolutely. Halle Berry to me never looks good with long hair. To me, short hair is her signature look and makes her look sexy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. You have to have a certain type of face style and just brows and all these other little features to kind of take into consideration. But talk about a fun summer style that you can easily wear and kind of just be out the door and looking stylish. And what I love here on the next one, the red hot choppy layers, what I loved is that in this particular, she was part of a couple of different hairstyles where they were talking about color. And they were talking about women over 40 and kind of embracing just different colors, having some fun, trying something different. Whether I've seen some women with blue, with pink,
Stephanie Classy.
Yes, that's
rocking her. And she's got that same choppy layers. She's rocking like a turquoise blue right now. It is beautiful.
It looks, and even Macy has got like she's got like a combination of different colors in her. But it's this idea that, you know what, at 40, 50 plus, you can do whatever you want, and rock the colors and have some fun with your style.
You sure can, because here is the other one. So let's take those. So this is the other view that we were looking at. The longer, so what they're saying is that supposedly this really the idea of this topic came up is that if you wear your hair down the center, again, you're hip, cool, sexy, all of that kind of stuff, right? And if you wear it on the side, you're not. They can tell, again, your age. So we wanted to pull up. Now, I love a style down the center, no matter the age, because that's what you and I are saying. It doesn't matter your age. What were you saying earlier? We can wear it however way we want.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, ladies, like at the end of the day, like you were saying, Barb, it comes down to your face structure. It comes down to how you like to style your hair, the maintenance that you want to invest, because believe me, if you cut it a certain way, I always find that when I cut it shorter, I'm having to invest more time in it than when I have it long. And so
you had it short that one time and I was like,
I went up to like about right here.
All that beautiful hair. I was like, girl, I buy that stuff to put in. What are you doing?
So I'm never going to go back to short hair. I just can't wear it. My face is too round. I've been told that, and now I know. What I am now going to be exploring is potentially bangs. Don't know what style yet, but we'll see. Stay tuned for that one.
You know what you could do? Oh my God, I would love to see that. Right? You could, yes. You could try bangs by going to a hair store. I could show you where. We can go together now that we're getting all vaccinated up. Woo-hoo! And you can try bangs. You just literally clip them in. Like I just clipped in this piece right here. Yeah, I'm saying it. You could clip them in and then you cover it slightly. So now you take your hair and you'll just slightly take it to the side, but you could test the bangs.
Brilliant. We will be doing bang shopping one day. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes. Pretty bang shopping. That's too funny. Well, I am so glad you're back. Let's let the people know what's happening later today. And since we told them about what's happening next week at noon today, and then you and I are going to meet and we're going to catch up and do a little catching up. We've got a new brand that we worked on, marketing plans and all that. So
yeah, no, for those of you that are new to our community, I know y'all are leaning in because we are loving the chat that always is happening and the support and the back and forth, conversations and insightful, just knowledge that y'all are always dropping in our community. But if you are new to our Facebook community, maybe you've seen a couple of posts from our insiders and opportunities that we offer our insider members, which is our exclusive memberships that we currently right now are almost 175 plus strong and growing. So we're going to be talking today a little about what Second Act Women is. I know you guys know us from obviously the Morning Cup and also from seeing our posts, but get a little bit more background information about who we are, what's our mission, why we even started this company, and where we're going and what you can do to take full advantage of being not just a community member, but being an insider member and all the perks that come with it. So we're going to be hosting a Lunch and Learn today at 12 noon on Facebook. You can check out the event listing that's currently in the Facebook community page. But if you want to learn, join us. We'd love to have you. And it's a free 1 hour session.
I love it. It's going to be fun because we've got a lot to share with everyone. And that number you gave, that's a global membership too, from England to all over North America, which of course includes Canada. So that's a global number. So before we leave, I have to tell a funny story.
Oh no, she's even making herself laugh.
So you already know I'm clumsy. And so that's whatever you see stars on me. So I got my shot on Tuesday. And so then I went down and picked up my mom, who's already shotted up. Like I was saying, she's got both her shots and she's 83 and healthy as a horse. So I was really excited. So I brought her back up on Tuesday night. So I am literally deep in sleep on Wednesday morning, basically yesterday morning, heavy sleep. All of a sudden, I hear something in the middle of the night and I'm like, holy, and I jump up, legs are a little bit numb because I was mid-REM. I fall to the ground immediately after I get out of bed. All 222 pounds of me fall directly onto my knees. Somehow, I also injured my arm. Both of the top of my right foot is injured. My ankle is twisted. And
oh my gosh.
It was because I forgot I had another human being in the house.
Your mom moved, and then she probably was woken up by you falling. And
she was going to the ladies' room, and I thought I had an intruder. And so she's like helping me and my big ass get off the ground.
She's like, "What are you doing, Bart?"
She's laughing right now. And I could not, oh my God, my poor dog, as I'm laying on the ground, is just licking my face like, I'm sorry, Mom.
Oh my gosh, I saw that and I feel so bad for you right now.
Yes. And
I saw the epic reenactment on Facebook. I did.
Oh, there's an epic reenactment. I will post it to Second Act Women, the reenactment of me falling out of bed. And it turns out lots of people have done this. Anyway, I had to share that funny story because we've been living alone for so long. Some of us that are single and or, we just have dogs and stuff.
So you're like, hey, hold on a second.
Yeah, we're going back to reality.
Now that would happen if in fact it was a real intruder is all I'm going to say. So maybe you need to investigate into some, additional assistance on the side there or whatever it might be. But yeah, no, that's kind of fun but sad at the same time, I guess.
I know. I had to cancel an appointment that I had today because I can barely, I'm walking like I'm 95. I tell you, if there was an intruder, I would have been a goner because
I know. I'm like, that's what's concerning. I'm like, or maybe they would have been like, man, what's going on over there? Let's leave. You never know. Maybe if they would have left.
Anyway, you have our goodbye quote for the day, and we're going to end the show, and we will see everybody at noon.
Yeah, let me bring it on up because I think this is a good one. And it is, we can't control the filters others choose when they look at us, but we can control the filters we use to see others. So meaning, don't pay mind to what other people put out there. Don't mind, trying to fill someone else's shoes or be something for someone else. You focus on you. You make sure you're the best human you can be today, tomorrow, and always. And this world will be better for having you. So,
dude, that was beautiful. And we don't have closing music this time because we're still working on our branding, which is so exciting. But we want to just wish everybody a blessed day. And, just get out there and do you and get vaccinated. All right.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys here next week.
Bye everyone.